call this meeting to order. Roll call and establishment of quorum. You can go ahead and start.
Joe Perez present.
Armando Quintero present.
Alexander Flores present.
And Mayor Rivera present. For the record, Mr. Commissioner Ramirez and Commissioner Garcia are either on the way or not here.
They're not gonna be able to be attending, I think
Okay, they
Mr.
will not
Garcia was
attend.
ill and Mr. Ramirez,
He didn't say.
That's okay. All right. So do we want to excuse?
I want to make a motion to excuse.
A motion and a second. Excuse both commissioners for their extenuating reasons. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you all. Invocation and pledge of allegiance. Anybody want to lead us? All right, we can bow our heads. Lord, Heavenly Father, we come before you this beautiful evening, God. Ask you for guidance, wisdom, dear Lord, and uncommon knowledge, dear Lord, as we make decisions for this small town, dear Lord, that may be in the best interest, dear Lord. We know that all things through you work for the good, even when we go through bad times, dear Lord. We know that you love us. We understand that. Help us understand more of you and become better servants, not only of the city, but better servants for you, God. All these things I pray in your precious name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Certified posting of agenda.
Yes, Mr. Mayor and council members, the agenda was to be posted as required by state law at least 72 hours prior to the start of the meeting.
And I thank you for everything and everything you continue to do for us. Your work does not go unnoticed. Any public comments? I didn't see any.
I didn't receive any.
Okay, all right, no public comments. Next, do I have a motion for open our public hearing?
Public hearing.
I have a motion, I have a second.
Second.
I have a second. And for the record, I'll go ahead and read it before we take a vote. Open to the public, consideration for conditional use permit requested by Gerardo Valdez for 2 years for the temporary use of mobile offices located at Porcion 495 West 5500 North 396 North 30 acres, 65.22 acres West 13.02 Share 14 on Green Road. Rudy, you want to go ahead and?
Yes, Mayor, City Council.
Okay, so hold on. Let me take the vote. Do I have a motion? Okay, wait,
Public
comment.
yeah.
So I have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
No.
We're good?
Yeah, it's a public hearing.
All right. Go ahead, please, sorry.
Yes, Mayor and Council, this property is located on the southeast corner of Green Road and Business 83. This property was rezoned previously to heavy commercial, and the owner is requesting to put some temporary mobile offices there as a conditional use permit for 2 years at max. And the Planning and Zoning Board did vote to approve, but conditional use permit for 1 year with the option to extend for 1 more year while the owner's getting his construction completed.
What are they doing with this?
It's for a mobile office.
But what is the ultimate, what are they, they're not gonna leave the mobile office?
We do have the owner here as well. It's for a CDL
Okay.
school.
The truck driving school.
Yes.
All right.
I pass by it pretty often.
Yes.
It's pretty
Okay,
nice.
is that the one on
South
south?
of the expressway, of the Business 83,
Yeah.
Yes.
the big property.
See.
Yes, correct.
All right, so do we wanna have, is it,
Yes. Mr. Valdez.
Vasily?
Mayor and council members, thank you for the opportunity to present my case here. Yes, so yeah, the mobile offices, so that we can have a place for our instructors to be able to have a place so they can eat lunch there. Because right now they're eating out of their vehicles, and I already have porta johns right there for them, for the students, and so now I need a place so that I can put an office there so they can eat their lunch, and while we make a permanent building
Typical
for
truckers.
everybody.
Typical truckers eating in their trucks.
Yes.
Well, thank you for, considering our city.
There's a new law or something changing, right, with the CDL, requirements.
Yes.
So those classes and that need is really going up, so I do see it week after week, you know, full.
We are packed, yes,
Yeah. It's a
and
big need.
I mean, we really care about our students. We're the only school that is not a college where you can actually take your CDL driving test. It's Harlingen, TSTC in Harlingen, STC and here in McAllen, and then us.
Are you working through CSDC or?
No, we're an independent company, but our students do test with us. We don't have to take them to the DPS.
So, and how long does it take for them to get their
Well,
CDL?
it depends, each student has a different,
Needs.
like availability. So, some students can only come in on Saturdays, some students can only come in like once every 2 weeks, so as long as fast as they can learn, what's called a pre-trip inspection, which is like you have to do an inspection of the full vehicle. So we give them videos, we give them a printed copy of the inspection, and Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, we have a pre-trip inspection group so they can come in, learn it, and as fast as they can learn it, we put them for their personal hours. So they're already prepared once they start their hours, not like other schools where they call them 4 days before their driving test and they expect them to learn the pre-trip inspection in 1 day. The maneuvers, 3 maneuvers on the second day, the driving the 3rd day, and they do their driving test on the 4th day. And with us, they already learned the inspection before they start their hours.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
That's how we're able to help our students.
So do you
the
plan
best we can.
on staying, do you plan making this a 2-year thing, or you wanna gauge
Well,
it, or
well,
you plan to stay, or?
Oh, yes, well, definitely.
No, the
We're gonna
The portable office is just
It's just
temporary.
temporary, so that
Yeah.
I can have the instructors have a place so they can eat their lunch while we make our plan to build our permanent building there.
Was,
Thank you.
that was the area that was suggested for truck
Parking lot, parking space?
Yes, but
Oh,
No, no,
Hay
no.
otro espacio.
Yes.
no, that was, we were gonna
Oh, part of
have,
it?
yeah,
Okay.
but no, so, I mean, we already expanded inside there, I mean, we have, there right now, we have about 7, 8 trucks, and we have 2 in the shop, so, I mean, there's not enough room to make it into a parking
To a
like
parking
we
lot.
were originally planning.
Okay,
So-
so those things have barely changed to doing the CDL's licenses and all that, so it's
Sí,
good.
to train for it.
It's good.
And just some background, this is probably before the council before for rezoning, council approves the rezoning, the business is gonna operate, it's already operating. They agreed to maintain that little area of stretch of Green Road to make sure that, you know, if it gets damaged, they'll make the proper
Yes.
adjustments and
And we're
repair.
also gonna, excuse me
Go
to
ahead.
interrupt, donate to the high school, probably like the first 5 students, the higher ranked with the grades, we are gonna donate to the school
Nice.
this
That's-
year.
Y'all have an agreement or partnership with the district?
No,
No, oh, okay.
no, but I mean, that is something that we
Would
said
you
that
consider?
we're
Sí,
gonna do,
To
whenever we
offer for
came
the
in.
students,
Yes.
yeah, that's great,
Like a
that's really
scholarship.
good.
When you get a business, do you have a business card?
I do, yes.
Can you leave your number and so we can,
Yeah, I might sign up and become truck driver.
for our kids
Oh,
too?
retire.
Yes, sir,
You know.
yes, sir, definitely.
Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Any other questions? Thank you for a lot of good information. I know,
Thank you so
Good luck.
much.
yeah, what about I know that the trucking industry is picking up again, right? Obviously, that's
Mhm.
why we're moving over here, right?
Mhm.
So what do you see? What do you know? What do you hear? Enlighten us.
What, I mean, we're getting 15 students, doing their test, per week. So, and then, and we also have like about the same number of students every Friday, we test the students, like whoever, learn, during the week, at the end on Friday, that's whenever we give them the thumbs up or thumbs down, like, hey, you need more help, on this, before they go and do the test with their, state examiner. So, I mean, even though we were, stopped for 3 weeks because of the rain and we had some bad caliche there. So, now, we put, first I put, I don't know how many, can't remember that, I mean, it was way, a lot of, we put caliche on half of the yard, like 3/4 of it, and it was like some bad caliche, so we had to come back, and during that rain, we had to put like a 50, it was like 54, 55, like
Loads, truck loads?
belly dumps of caliche. And now, we got it compacted and everything, so, I mean, we're in
You
good
see
shape
pavement in the
now.
near future, maybe?
Pavement, yeah, very likely, very likely.
Well, whatever, I guess, I mean, obviously, whatever you need, thank you for picking us, you know, we're a humble little town here, but we're on that, and
Yes,
thank you for helping us
and I'm
grow.
very grateful for the help that everybody brings. So with Mr. Flores here, he's been very helpful. Monica, that I just talked to her a few hours ago, that, hey, well, nice to have you back.
Leave your information so we can.
Yeah, leave your
Help you out.
contact
Sure.
information.
All right?
Sure, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Any
much.
questions else?
Mrs.
Any other
Thank you.
questions? Good luck, and you know, we're, you know, we're open doors here.
If you
Thank
know
you.
anybody that wants to make a parking lot, a trucking parking lot, we're looking for that resource. So we
Okay,
can offer that to our local truck drivers.
okay.
So, yeah, I know it's something that we've been looking for a while, so come across anybody,
All right,
that would be awesome.
okay, thank you,
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so 6:45, and we're closing this, ending the public hearing. Item 6.2, discussion of possible act.
Can you make a motion?
A motion on this, conditional use permit. Do I have a
Second.
Second. Any questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you, and good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Item number 7, consent agenda. Have a motion, second. Any questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. 7.1, approval of minutes.
It's already.
That's all part of consent.
Okay, so I'm not
Just,
gonna read any of that. What about 7.2, discussion
Yeah,
possible
no,
action?
no.
All that was part, it's all of it in there.
New business.
I'm using the yellow.
I highlighted one.
8.1, new business, update on street paving infrastructure projects.
Just real briefly here, just some updates, street paving, as far as the areas damaged by the sewer project, our city engineers met with Awasad last week to review documents, review the test. There's some documents that are pending legal approval on the Awa side to give to our engineers, so once they get that, our engineers are gonna complete an analysis, they'll do an assessment, and they'll give us recommendations so that staff can work on touching some of the areas that we talked about, Veterans Boulevard, South Lahoma, and Bray Fogle. My understanding is Awasad had a board meeting today, Mayor Pro Tem Perez was there as well, spoke on behalf of the city. I don't know if there's anything that you wanna expand on that?
Well, the reason I went is because I saw on the agenda that they're having some, discussion and I guess some decisions to make on the street improvement. But I went as a public comment to kind of address the need for some of the streets that are very, I would say, safety hazard, that we want for them to address as quickly as possible because, to avoid, accidents and problems that we have. I think there should be letting us know what is the outcome as far as the cooperation they have, but I know we had discussed some temporary fix in some of the areas that we have. We know the sewer lines, they know the sewer lines are not completely, but talking to the engineers, they see a lot of improvements now, a lot of more cooperations from OG, that they're trying to fix those lines. There's less issues, but there's still some issues, but they're willing to get that going. For what I see, they see the sewer running on the north side pretty soon. So that's some hopes. So now we can focus on the streets, and I think our side is discussing that as well.
a long-awaited project. We're about 2 years overdue. And we fought with the contractor, and we've made peace, we fought, we're trying to do everything to finish this long-awaited, long overdue project. Believe me, we will do everything we possibly can to get it completed and get it done right.
What were the
Good
streets
point.
you brought up, Mayor?
The streets that I brought up was, Marla. There's a section on Marla that, has an indentations on one of the manholes. The other one was Donna. I brought up Donna as well because there's a new construction of a house there, and they're, I believe, right by Whataburger, but there's an indentation also there in the cul-de-sac. The other one was, La Homa South. There's that portion that needs to be addressed. And of course, Brayfogle and 495. Don't know exactly the sections of 495 that they're willing to address, but there's definitely, those are the ones that I brought up.
Brayfogle South, North, or the whole street in general?
495?
No, Brayfogle.
Brayfogle is north and south.
North and south.
I don't know about how ready north is because they're still in the area. I know there's some issues on the line for 495. There's some issues there, so they might be affected on the north side. On the south side, I don't think there is as many issues. But those are the ones that I addressed.
Okay, any word on any of the sections on the south side? Can we discuss that? Any word on the south side, being ready anytime soon?
As far as the connections,
Yes, as far as like not having to dig anymore.
so, they were gonna do a last round of walkthrough when they walk the areas and they televise the areas. There's some areas, but they didn't say that they had to dig more. They just had to repair it through, I don't know, somehow, but I don't know if there's, I don't think there's gonna be any more digging, but there are some areas that they need to repair. But, according to the engineers, they're being a lot more cooperative, like they thinking that they can actually get connected within the next 3 months.
Okay,
That would be the case,
so by or before summer.
that they will be connecting the lines. Now, once they're connecting of the lines, then we can address the issue with the streets.
With the streets,
That would be-
with fixing those.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you for
Yes,
making time
thank
to
you for
go
that.
and again, cause we've been out there a lot. And I know you made the time in the.
And I know we have gotten together, but I noticed that on the agenda, and this is my second time that I'll go to speak about, they were very receptive, and hopefully we can,
Very good.
Good.
get some
Thank you.
more feedback on that.
And then alongside with that, we did reach out again to Precinct 3, Hidalgo County. They had talked about a joint project between ourselves, Awasad, and the precinct about doing some of the work, and so we're waiting on that. We've asked for a meeting, so that's pending. Paving related to the newly annexed areas, we did meet with our project engineer last Wednesday, and then the entire crew, we had a kickoff on Friday with the contractor and the materials testing firm. They are looking at 30 days to start and about 120 days to complete, which would put us through August of this year for completion. We did put the streets in a certain order to give us time to work on Spring Glen and Palm Creek. There's the order there on your list: Stone Ridge, Daisy Ridge, Mesquite Lane, Jamie Circle, Gracie Lane, Palm Creek, and Spring Glen towards the end. We are finalizing agreements this week, and construction should start April 4th, with 30 days, regarding the paving for these particular streets.
Are they gonna go in order, or are they gonna go all at once?
This is the order, right? They're gonna go in order, probably, we've asked them to follow this order. They're gonna have one crew, so they'll mobilize in one area, do 3 streets, and then pick up, go to another area, because they're all within range of each other, and then do the other 3 streets, and then go across the street to Spring Glen lots.
See, because Spring Glen was supposed to be first, right, but then
Yes, we
maybe
changed
those
to the
drainage
drainage.
issues?
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
Because,
got it.
so we can, okay. that's
Is,
okay.
Budget,
can we make this information public once it gets finalized? That way the community is aware of what order this is going to take effect?
Yes, if the council would like to do that, we can do that, absolutely. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Now, in fairness to some of the other things that we are talking about, people are naturally gonna be like, well, what about the streets over here, the ones that we were just talking about, like La Homa and Brayford, and veterans that have been damaged for an extended period of time. And the reality is, again, it's all related to the sewer project done by Awasad and the contractors. And so it's a different thing that we're trying to deal with those, and that's kind of the things that Mayor and Mayor Pro Tem were here talking about. So this is relation to streets that were not part of the sewer project, that were not dug up and put, pipelines under, or sewer pipes underneath, but rather just streets that when we annexed, they were in bad condition. They've been, like that probably since they were constructed, and we're able to target those areas, and that's what we're doing here.
Yeah, and those are the areas that have never been, I guess, addressed or emphasized since what, maybe 90s?
Since they
So
were
we're
built probably.
hoping that
Yeah.
those streets that are going to address now will be good for the next 10, 15 years. And then we can follow on more streets from the north side, because eventually our idea is to, get all the whole streets in the north side of Palmview fixed.
Very good point. And so just for the record, we also, several years ago, we annexed other areas, and the city has a fiduciary duty to maintain these streets and provide the services like trash, brush, police, fire, rescue, ambulance. And this area was annexed about, I'm gonna say about 4 years, a little over 4 years ago. And it's our obligation and duty to go ahead and take care of their streets and light up their streets as well, and work on their drainage as well. So we also had Urban County, and another project with Urban County was the Mata subdivision that was paved this past year, as well as Greenland Circle. So we got other projects coming through the county as well. So there's a lot of paving going on in our city, of course, that have nothing to do with the sewer project. But 495, the La Homa, and the Brayfogle, and the other streets, some of these other streets that Mayor Pro Tem Perez mentioned, we're working with AWA and putting pressure on that contractor so that they can get these streets up and running for you. We're also working on trying to do a little paving project to do some good patchwork for these streets that are in dire condition. All right, just a little update. So thank you all for your input and for your diligence as well. And thank you for the update on what's coming to this newly annexed area, which was on the north side of the city, as well in these streets as well.
And just a few other points of interest on the drainage side. As you may know, the Drainage District number 1 started cleaning out the Tierra Linda drain behind the subdivision of the Tierra Linda subdivision, providing relief to those property owners who the property was eroding due to the fall off of the street. They cleaned it out, so their next step is they're gonna fill it and then move it back away from the property lines. So that's gonna provide great relief for the residents there. We did request a meeting with the Drainage District for the drainage plans for Spring Glen and Jamie Circles. We talked about how it's gonna impact the paving that we do there as well. On the street light sign, Tierra Linda, I know some of you have asked about that. There was some edits that needed to be made on the agreement. That's been done. We sent it over. They're reviewing it, so we're hoping to have this, signed off by tomorrow, allowing them to start in the next 7 to 10 days. They already removed the older fixtures, the light fixtures from the Tierra Linda, so we expect this to be happening in the next 2 weeks, and it should take, I think, was it 3 to 4 days? It shouldn't take long and on, so hopefully, in 2 weeks, by our next council meeting, hopefully there'll be lights at Tierra Linda. We had completed Spring Glen, Milagro Lane, Camellia Street, and as you can see, some of the ones that were still pending there on that list. And last but not least, playground equipment. Council approved the purchase of playground equipment for the 5 to 12-year-olds. We put that order a month and a half ago. Unfortunately, like everything else on back order, they told us, anywhere from 20 to 21 weeks, which is like, 5 months, give or take. So we're still waiting on that. But the good news is, in the process, we looked at the use of ARPA funds. The county is using the ARPA funds for improvements to their parks. So we had a meeting with them, and legal counsel looked at it and said, you know what, this is an eligible expense with ARPA funds, so that's the route we're gonna do. So now we're gonna go back and look at the 2 to 5-year-olds. We have put that a hold to do one because of the expense, but if we're able to utilize ARPA funds and everything looks like that we can, we expect that to be bringing that to council here in the near future. So we can make some movement on that too, and that will redo the park here as far as playground equipment is concerned.
Nice. Sounds awesome.
What would be the possibility that we cancel that first order, cause 5 months just sounds like so long? Like cancel that and maybe find something that's more available in the area, I don't know. It's cause I'm thinking like summer and Like, even this last weekend, I have to take my kids to another park, cause I know hours. I'm sorry, it's the truth.
No, no,
You look
understood,
at,
understood.
and see if there's something available out there. It's
You
not-
know, I think we can, it's a good idea, let me look into it, we'll have staff look
We
into
can start out
it.
with a 2 to 5 year old.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
and they did have a certain equipment that they called like readily available, that they could, you know, ship out pretty quickly. The only difference is of price, you know, you're gonna pay a little bit more, but if it's not too much more, and if it's still value, if it adds value, obviously value, the need is definitely there, we need it like
Yes,
now.
yes.
I think that's worth consideration.
Okay, I mean.
Okay, so we'll look at that.
Yes.
I would think.
No, no, of course.
Next item, discussion of
Thank you,
possible action
Michael.
regarding the Veteran Boulevard project.
Mayor, real briefly here, we don't need to make a decision today, I know we don't have the entire council, but as we all know, we have a shortfall of the $800,000 for the 485 expansion, together with precinct 3, which is an MPO project. We got a letter from the engineer, they gave us 2 options for that 800,000. If we put in our share now, if we budget now, it can continue on path, and the target for construction under that option would be May of 2023, which is a year away, which is, you know, if it holds, unfortunately, it's been pushed a few times, but if it holds, that's right around the corner. Good news, but we would have to come up with the money now. The option 2 was the engineer also sent the MPO a request for special category funds, state funds, so we don't have to put in the money, which would be great. The downside to that wait is, 1, we don't know if we're gonna get it, and number 2, it pushes that construction date for May of 23, it goes to May of 2024. So we did reach out to the precinct on this one as well, just to try to get a gauge what their thoughts are, see what they're thinking, because they're gonna have to come up with their share of another 800,000, so be good to see what they're thinking, but we're gonna have to make a decision on this really soon. So keep that in mind.
Budget wise, we need to look at our budget, and
Come up with it, yeah.
I know we've worked on having a good, decent budget for reasons like this. So we're gonna have to really, you know, decide what we're gonna do, and part of the reason that the 800,000 came up was because there's been litigation back and forth. Some of the property owners don't wanna sell the property, and every time our attorneys talk to their attorneys, that costs a little more. I think we've got about 90% of the
Acquisition.
right of ways, we've gotten the acquisitions already. So we're just needing a few screws there to finish getting the right of ways. So
Not you.
go ahead and look at it. No,
Hope it's not you.
no, it's not. No, they're the hard corners and the owners that
Yeah.
know that where the, you know, they don't wanna sell.
Is that agreement, I know that we had a kind of collaboration with the county because they put some monies as well. So it's only us that we're putting the money, it's not them?
No, both. The shortfall is 1.6, 1.7
Okay.
million,
So
so
it's-
half
it's
us, half them.
it's them. And are they putting the money, and they're agreeing on that?
They're gonna have to just figure out the same thing that we're figuring
Because
out,
if we're putting the money and they're not,
then it's not gonna, yeah,
so that's still gonna be delayed.
true. And that's why we
Yeah,
reached out to
that's
them
why we
and
meet with them.
let's see what they say.
See where they are with that.
So
Very
I think we should come into consensus. Now, that money is also belongs to part of the monies that they're giving us for this area, right? Because they're still giving us some monies here with the properties that they're gonna take
Oh.
from City Hall.
Right, no, the 800,000 is the full amount. We do have an item on our agenda, an executive session under real estate sales. We did get an offer to buy a piece of our frontage, because we're one of those property
We're one of those
owners.
properties.
Yeah, and so that will, if council agrees to accept our offer, we can just by agreement say, you know what, let's put that towards that shortfall. All of a sudden, it went from 800, down to, 607.
Yeah, whatever it is, that difference is, and definitely we can now.
Yeah, that's gonna help.
That would be good.
Yeah.
But I'd say that we have to reach out to the county saying, what is your take, what is your part? Are you putting this as well? What kind of guarantees do we have for the 2023? Because it sounds really, really good for the 2023.
That would be amazing.
That would be awesome.
That would be so good.
We can definitely alleviate a lot of problems, but they still have issues with agua to get some of those relocation of lines. I think that's what
Yes.
they're going to do. But I think TechStart is pretty good. Whenever they go in, they're going in and
Going full force.
start and finish, not going layaways, So, I think reaching out to the county saying, what is your take? Can we meet to saying,
Have we reached
are
out
we
to them
willing
already or no?
Yes,
to
yes,
reach out
yes, sir.
and have a meeting?
Set up a little,
We asked for a meeting actually to discuss a few things, this being one of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we can make a decision on that, based on
Yep.
the information that we get.
Okay,
All right.
sounds good. Hopefully we'll be in the next meeting.
Can somebody, brief on this project, so the community can know what exactly it is we're discussing and how it would benefit our community?
Yeah.
Mayor?
So I'll take what Commissioner they're saying, just give us a brief.
Oh, no,
please,
no,
we can-
like, just,
Oh, okay, so right now, what we've been doing is meeting with precinct, we've been doing this for about a year and a half now.
Just because a lot of people don't know what the project is.
The
exactly.
Veterans
All about-
Expansion Project.
Is
yeah.
it, is,
So
is,
so the Veterans
I
Expansion
think
Project.
they know,
has
but
been-
they don't know what's been taking,
Yeah.
you know, so long.
So it's been, for 30 years now, and the project, like the sewer project was out, for 30 years. And we finally, made, when Mayor Perez was here, we kind of made amends, and, we finally got the project rolling. We started it back in 2010 to bring the sewer, to parts of what was the city back in the 90s. That's why not everybody got sewer, all right? So it's only a certain area, because this project was long, it's been long overdue. And then, of course, the 495 expansion, which is gonna happen here, that's
The
what we're
5-lane.
discussing. It's gonna be a 5-laner with
mimicking
sidewalks on
whatever
both sides,
mission is.
from La Homa to Abram Road, which is gonna be good for the quality of living, and it's been a long-awaited project too. There's some funding that is in question, and we have the resources to fund the project, but we're still trying to safeguard the public's monies, and use possibly grant or MPO, or, other means of getting the money to get this project finished. But this project, if we go one route, we might start it, possibly, according to our engineers, and midway through the 2023, and if not, midway through the 2024 year. So that's basically what's going on. So it's coming, it's just from one year to the next, depending on what, funding source we use. But the project is underway, and we've invested a lot of time and energy. We wanna thank the people from the state, and of course Precinct 3 as well, our commissioner out there who's been hustling for us as well, for this part of the county. And, we're willing to, we'll do whatever means fiscally responsibly possible to get it for our community.
That would be great.
And then go ahead and set up the meeting, Mike, and then, and we use the same committee that we have.
Okay.
So we can see which direction we're gonna take, and then we bring it back to the commission, and then we're gonna vote on which direction we're gonna take here in the near future.
So basically, this project is for 495 from La Homa to Abram to expand to 5 lanes.
5-lane.
And TxDOT will take over from there on out.
Correct. It's a TxDOT project, but it's a little bit of us with Precinct 3 and TxDOT.
Yes.
It's a lot of moving parts, but it's close to fruition.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments? All right.
So with that, we can table this item for the next meeting.
So do I have a motion to, wait, the motion would
Table until we get, our meeting with our, commissioner, or with
Second.
and discuss what are the options that we have.
Okay, I have a motion to table the item, and a second. Any other questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Item 8.3, discussion of possible action to designate Palmview's animal control officer as the local rabies control authority pursuant to chapter 826 of the Texas Health and Safety Code. Go ahead, Rudy.
Hello, Mayor, Council.
Sir.
Yes, this would be to designate our animal control officer, Peter Montoya, for the role for the local rabies, control authority for Palmview. Some of the duties he would be doing is what he does right now. It's investigate, animal bites, making sure that, the animals are quarantined, and he follows up that they're healthy. The animals are healthy after the bite, for those 10 days, and, notifies the person that, yes, the victims, and, the doctors, the veterinarians and stuff, so.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
A motion, a second. I'll
Does
take
that
the-
happen often, Rudy? Like people
We,
getting bit?
we have had several recently.
Even more so now that there's a loose dog
Yes.
problem?
How's that
with
going?
Yes, with the leash law.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
of that
Yes.
law.
We're trying to control what we can. We're visiting the, subdivisions, and if they are, restrained, we make contact with them, give them some time to take care of
Yeah,
it.
but what about the loose dogs? The people are just letting the dogs go?
We're picking them up, and we're taking them
But
to.
have the numbers gone up?
They have.
Really?
They have, yes. The last month, I believe we were like at 35. I think this month we're at like 54.
Is there still space for them? What is it, Mission?
Yes, we're with Mission. We have to work with them, cause we probably could take some every day, but
Yeah.
we're working with them just so the numbers are controlled.
Do we have space here to keep them for the meantime? Or no?
We don't have an
Kennel?
approved kennels, yes, for that. Something we can look into though.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yes.
definitely.
We might wanna look into that.
Mhm. No, we will.
Okay.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
for
Thank you
being-
for the update. Keep doing, thank you for everything y'all are doing with all these pets. So owners, dog owners, pet owners, help
Take care
us.
of your
Yeah,
pets.
take care, be a little responsible out there and take care of your dogs and pets. And, take care of them and then help us as well. Thank you. So I had a motion and a second. We voted, we discussed, we didn't vote. For the record, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries, and then you have the motion in the second, correct? Okay, thank you. 8.4, update on just updates on public works.
I think in the past, at a workshop, we talked about trainings for public works, and so, in your packet, you should have an update of some of the trainings that were completed back in 2021, as well as upcoming in 2022. Training with our new software that we're using for the, Asset Essentials GIS mapping of our assets and our vehicle equipment maintenance and so forth. Vector Lab live training, public health pest applicator for the pesticide application. There's a big one, a safety and risk management training coming up, and stormwater management. Aside from that, I know we talked big about training for all staff. Probably the biggest one that we're harping on, that we've already just started in progress, is customer service training.
Yes.
It's really easy, or it's hard, I think, for sometimes our guys are out there and they're not delivering good news. It's bad news if your code enforcement shows up and something's, not in compliance. So we wanna work on getting that message across to them. Hey, we're still here to support their business or whatever it is they're doing, but we do need to be in compliance. A lot of times it's a safety issue or a health issue, and if we let a business operate like that with a potential fire or a health hazard, it puts people's lives at risk. And it's unfortunate, but it needs to be done. So we wanna work on conveying that message, because by no means are we trying to shut anybody down, or trying to discourage business in our area. No, we promote business, we support business, we want it to continue. We just wanna do it, the right way and the safe way.
The way you approach it.
Yeah, it's all in the approach, I
That's all
think.
it is.
And sometimes, to be perfectly honest, we get calls and complaints from people, they feel like they're being rude, but it's just, unfortunately, they're delivering, tough news. So, either way, we've talked about it, we're gonna work on it. We're gonna push customer service training. Aside from that, we're also working with legal now that we have Events Firm on board, who's gonna be providing, procurement training, purchasing training is another big one, as well as sexual harassment training. The laws change on this, we have to keep on top of that. So probably, at least annually, have that refresher course of those types of training. So for 2022, one of our things is really, we're gonna go big on training.
And those are all part of your flat fee, don't worry.
So have we done a little survey maybe with our staff on what we, that's, just something to consider, customer service, response, time to, to respond to public's needs, or when somebody calls. I know that it had been brought up about the system when we call, and you press this department, dial 1 or 2, but maybe having somebody, a human, eventually it does get connected to a human, but when possible, have somebody on staff answer. So I would recommend.
Who does the training, Michael? Like for customer service, stuff like that?
For the customer service, the one that we're
Or like
utilizing is
sexual
TML.
harassment, any type of training for the staff?
It depends, there's different ones. Like I said,
You bring people in?
we try to bring in third parties. There's some that we can do internal, we will,
Okay.
but we try to bring, professional, organizations. TML offers a lot of resources. I think we're using TML for the customer service training. City of Mission offered a training for public works guys, other entities, but even, you know, Jerry has offered on numerous occasions to do in-house training, internal training that we can do as well, along the lines, like, you know, procurement's gonna be a big one, I think, so again, we're gonna defer to legal on that. Cool.
So, yeah, take a little survey, and see where, you know, where we need, and address it.
Yes, sir.
All right, any other questions, comments? All right. Thank you, Shalil, thank you, Mike. 8.5, discussion and possible action regarding resolution providing for the appointment of 4 members to the zoning board of adjustments. Rudy? Go ahead, sir.
Yes, Mayor and Council. The zoning board of adjustment, member terms have ended for, 4 members. It's Ms. Leonora Garcia, Monica Escamilla, Olga Aguilar, and Veronica Perez. Ms. Escamilla, Ms. Aguilar, and Ms. Perez, didn't express interest to continue, but unfortunately, Ms. Garcia, due to some scheduling conflicts, she would rather appoint someone else if possible.
Okay.
Those are,
So,
there'd be
the
4.
recommendation would be to, they showed, the three of them showed interest,
Yes.
Yeah.
right? Okay, and one is obviously got scheduled issues, and that's fine, you know, we thank those board members for serving, and,
Number 3 of them wanna come back, yeah.
3 will come back, 3 will come back, 1 will not. So at this point, can we recommend?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would recommend Mr. Noe Munoz, former commissioner, and, you know, good member in the community. Anybody have any other, any?
I recommend them too.
Who's
Good answer.
Noe
No,
Munoz?
Munoz.
Okay.
No, Munoz.
Anybody have anybody else?
Did you mention that she had a recommendation, Rudy, or?
No, she
Oh,
didn't
she
provide
didn't.
a recommendation.
Oh, okay,
No.
okay then,
You're good.
That's my,
yes, that's fine.
So,
So-
if you intend to keep the 3 and put Mr. Munoz, then you need a motion naming the 4.
And another.
Second, yeah.
Alright, then it's
Okay, so it was Monica Escamilla, right? We're gonna keep Monica, and the other one was Ms. Perez,
Veronica Perez.
Veronica Perez, and the third was, I didn't get the third.
Olga Aguilar.
I motion to keep Monica Escamilla, Olga Aguilar, Veronica Perez, and add Mr. Noe Munoz to the planning and
There's a
zoning
motion.
board
Board
of
of
adjustment.
Adjustments.
Zoning board of adjustments.
A second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other questions? Thank you.
I had it here.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. Mr., just make sure you make contact with him, we'll get you contact information,
Yes, sir.
and keep doing what you're doing over there. And
Thank
Thank you so much, Rudy.
Thank you, Rudy.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Garcia for serving, and
Thank you,
the
Ms.
other ladies
Garcia.
as well. Garcia, Ms. Aguilar, and Ms. Perez.
Yes,
Thank you,
thank
thank
you.
you.
And who am I missing? Escamilla.
Escamilla.
As well. All right. Monthly department reports.
Mayor, okay, council, that the reports are included in your packet. We do have staff on site if we wish to have any questions. One that we are gonna talk a little bit about is the Parks and Recreation. You know, the spring leagues are right around the corner. They're doing basketball leagues on the weekends now, which have been very successful, generating interest, generating revenue. The big thing to keep in mind is the spring baseball opening ceremonies and the dedication of the baseball fields that we've been talking about is scheduled for March 21st at 6:30 p.m. So just keep that, you know, mark that on your calendars coming up, March 21st kickoff and the dedication of the baseball fields.
When are you planning this again? Sorry.
March 21st?
March 21st.
March 21st, 6:30. 6:30? 6:30. And we'll be reaching out to the families of those who have had the fields dedicated in family members' names
Correct.
and the signage.
That's good. Thank you. So we're gonna bring them on when we kick it off. All right. All right. Monthly department reports. Anything else?
Unless the council has any questions.
Does anybody have any? All right. And that's what 10, we're gonna be going, obviously, we're in item 10, we're gonna be dismissing for going into executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code 551071, 551072, 551073, 551074, 551076, 551087. I have a motion.
So moved.
Motion, second. I have a second. Any questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries, so we'll be going into executive session at 7:18. We'll be back in a bit. Thank you. Discussing this, right-of-way acquisition. And I have a motion by Mr. Consent.
Second.
I'll take, Mr. Pettis a second. Any questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nobody opposed? Motion carries. It's 8:28, and I call this meeting adjourned. Y'all be safe. Have a great evening. Take care and God bless you.
Have a good evening,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye-bye. Good evening.